The Human Oncology and Pathogenesis program, or HOP, is a hospital-based research program that employs 23 faculty members and over 200 postdoctoral fellows, graduate students, and staff.
The Human Oncology and Pathogenesis program, or HOP, really was developed and tried to bring together the worlds of the research laboratories with the clinic in cancer care.
Research in HOP and across Memorial Sloan Kettering is enabled by programs like the Center for Molecular Oncology, or CMO. Cycle for Survival funding has supported the CMO and Department of Pathology in offering the most advanced diagnostic tools in next-generation sequencing.
It's hard for me to make a distinction between the CMO and HOP because a lot of the HOP investigators are part of the CMO and vice versa. It's really symbiotic, synergistic interaction that we have here. And that goes back to the concept of team science.
Cycle for Survival funding is providing really critical resources to start some really innovative and exciting new clinical trials.
We've been able to sequence over 50,000 patients. This gives us access to such rich information, especially for rare cancers. Funding from Cycle for Survival allows the HOP investigators to ask and answer bold, innovative research questions.
The Cycle for Survival funding really allows us to set up the infrastructure that we needed to process a high number of samples. This was funded by Cycle for Survival a couple of years ago, and this allows us to process 96 samples, or even now 384 samples in one day. So this is allowing us to go about 16 times faster.
Jeff was a patient with acute myeloid leukemia that came to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center for treatment.
So I got a call and I heard these words, Jeff, you have acute myeloid leukemia, you have AML. You need to get your affairs in order and we'll see you in the hospital on Monday morning and we're gonna start chemo right away. I was floored, I was stunned. First thing that popped into my mind was, how is my family going to react to this? They're going to be devastated.
This disease, acute myeloid leukemia, or AML, is a really deadly form of blood cancer. The 5-year overall survival is about 20% in the United States currently, meaning that 1 in 5 patients over the age of 60 with this disease, unfortunately, is not alive in 5 years. Jeff had the MSK impact assay performed on his blood and identified a mutation in a gene called IDH2, which is seen in about 20% of patients with AML, and for which we now have a drug, an oral therapy, that targets the IDH2 mutation.
So I thought to myself, okay, I have this mutant gene, this really aggressive mutant gene. This is not exactly what I thought I'd be celebrating. The nurses came in every morning and gave me a pill, and I called it my magic pill.
We were able to put him on a clinical trial combining the oral IDH2 inhibitor with regular chemotherapy for this disease. And this combination, we found out on this trial, actually was very effective, and it put him into a complete remission, which then allowed him to get a bone marrow transplant. So really the Cycle for Survival funding and funding this critical research on IDH2 mutations and the drugs targeting them really directly benefited a patient like Jeff, where we went from a situation of having a really deadly diagnosis to now being in remission. So as you can see, we have posters for each year of Cycle for Survival. Having these posters here right in this central location before you enter the labs really reminds us of this effort and the funding that has made our research and our clinical care possible for these patients.
And together, we make sure that every dollar that you raise is maximized, so that we are making a difference in understanding cancer and, more importantly, in treating cancer patients. We thank you for joining us in this battle against cancer.
I really want to thank everyone involved for the Cycle for Survival effort. It's really made a direct impact, not only on the patients that I see myself and treat on a daily basis, but also the research being performed in laboratories.
Thank you. I think this is really the first thing that comes to my mind. I'm sorry. I think it's incredible, the support that we've had from the community. It's just, it's an overwhelming feeling, as you can see.
Rarely do you have an opportunity to thank people for allowing you to be here. Thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for continuing to support rare cancer research. Thank you for continuing to support these amazing physicians and physician scientists at Memorial Sloan Kettering. They're the best in the world. And your support and your ability to participate in this movement means everything to me.